Hello, Virgos, and welcome to your September 15th through September 30th reading and predictions. My name is Marnie, also known as Intuitive Butterfly. For those of you who are returning, you may recognize my background. I am back in Medicine Hat in my cousin's man cave. For those of you who are new here, a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining my channel and or continuing to support my channel. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. All right, Virgos, before we get started, a couple of little housekeeping things. First of all, I do not edit my videos. What you see is what you get while I'm shuffling the cards. If they go flying, you get to see me bend down or get off my chair and go and pick them up. It's usually quite amusing, but part of what you want from a psychic is authenticity. So what you see is what you get. Also, before I start pulling cards, I pull all of the cards on camera. I leave them all sitting face down before I actually begin the reading. I did have a couple of comments last month about people, I guess you could say, complaining that the actual reading portion of my videos doesn't begin until probably about 5 or 6 minutes in. The reason that I do this, Virgo, is because, like you, I like watching other tarot readers and psychics. And when I watch other readers, I like to see them pull the cards on camera. For whatever reason, readers who pull cards on camera resonate more deeply with me than those who pull the cards off camera and then present them. Don't know why, but that's just how it is. And that's why I formulate my videos and do them this way. There's your explanation. No offense taken if you decide that you want to scroll ahead a few minutes and begin watching at the reading portion. All right, Virgo, let's call in your energy. Let's call in the divine creator of all that is. Let's call in the angels, the animals, and the ancestors to help guide us for this act of divination. And let's give thanks to Mother Earth for supporting us in all that we do. All right, let's start pulling some cards. First cards we're going to pull are cards of where you are at now, what energies are influencing you here in the middle of September. We've got cards flying out all over the place. Obviously, we will not read this many cards for you. We've got probably about 20 or 25 cards. So what we are going to do is pull this portion of the deck back and collect up all of the cards that did come flying out and reshuffle this smaller portion of the deck and see what comes out for you. Yeah, think of that. Half the deck. All right. So what's going on for Virgos right here, right now, mid-September? Is there one more card or just that one card after all that mucky mess? Is there anything else? We'll go through the deck one more time. One more time. Is there anything else for Virgo? That card. Those two cards, they don't want to go back in. Okay. Set those aside, face down, and let's move into what you are focusing on. What are the Virgos focusing on for the latter half of September 2023? What's going on? What are you focusing on? All right, so our first deck, we had cards flying everywhere, and now we have a deck that doesn't want to speak to us. Interesting. All right, well, okay. We've got, is that one going to come out? There's one card there. Yeah. So 2 cards there. Difficult influences and challenges. Let's have a look, Virgo. We had one card almost flip out and then it decided to go back in. Difficult influences and challenges for the Virgos. Mid to late September. So, okay. Couple of cards here. We're going to move them over. Set them down. Okay. Messages you need to hear at this time. Now, these cards are interesting. Sometimes the messages just seem like they're coming out of the blue, but they're still messages you need to hear at this time. And other times, these particular cards completely relate and tie into the rest of your reading. So let's see what messages the universe wants Virgo to hear for mid to late September. Is there more than one? No, I don't think so. Okay. And let's take a quick peek into what is unexpected. We're getting called back over to the traditional tarot. Unexpected insights and influences for Virgo. Oh, and it didn't go all the way down to the floor. Yay. That's always nice. Is there anything else unexpected for Virgo? Anything else unexpected? We just have one unexpected here. Let me just tap in. That's highly irregular. Yeah. We're going to go over here and pull one more card for your unexpected. Just one more card that's flipped out. Anything else? Anything else? Nope, just the one more. Okay. And cards for final general overall outcome. Where are we going? We're going over to the fairies. Let's see what the fairies have to say for your final overall outcome. Virgo. Anything else for the outcome for Virgo? What else have we got going on here? Okay. Two cards. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Okay. We have water, also known as your lifeblood, going on. We have the sun, faith, and we have ocean, waves. Interesting. Virgo, you have two cards here, both representing water. When water appears in a psychic or tarot reading, it is often an indication that there is more of that need for you to go with the flow. Also to seek out what's coming up for me is not just a question of going with the flow, but the saying that comes to mind is something I learned in my previous life before I fully embraced being a psychic. I've been a psychic since I was born, but through society, it was suppressed for some time. And so I did have a career before I fully stepped into what I was meant to be doing, which is psychic and counselor. And in that previous role, I was a property manager. And one of the really important lessons that we learn as a property manager looking after very large buildings is water always takes the path of least resistance. And for whatever reason, that's coming up for me. I mean, I left that career years ago, and yet that's coming up for me to share that with you right now, Virgo, especially with these two cards here for water and water. And the saying, go with the flow. Right now, I feel like some of you are really, really struggling. You're bumping into a lot of resistance right now. And part of the reason you're bumping into that resistance is because you're not going with the flow. You are not taking the path of least resistance. In fact, I think that for some of you, you've gone, oh, look, there's the most difficult trail. I think I'll take that one. And the reality is that you're really bumping into that through the month of September. I think that for some of you, you're not even on the right path or journey right now. And part of that is because you have been led to believe that you are something that you're not. And honestly, the vast majority of zodiac signs, which means that the vast majority of people on the planet at this time, are finding that their path or their journey isn't the one that their soul intended for them to take, but they ended up taking that path or that journey, just as I did, and just as I just mentioned, because society's expectations of where they should go and what they should do is what they ended up following, rather than being their own individual self and touching that deep soul aspect of themselves, of what they were really meant to be doing here on this this journey and this path right now. So you have water. This is your lifeblood. Remember that. And take the path of least resistance. Have faith that when you decide to walk your truth, you will flow. It won't be a fight. But when you are walking the path that someone else has laid out for you, it will feel like you're trying to swim upstream all of the time, Virgo. Take the path of least resistance, go with the flow, have faith that that is the right path or journey for you. There will be waves, but waves are actually what help us to remember that we're alive and we're still in motion. I don't know if that makes sense. Waves are not always... What's coming up for me, Virgo, is normally when this card comes up, it indicates that there's going to be a bumpy road ahead. There's going to be waves in your path. But what's actually coming up for me, because water is figuring so prominently in your reading, or the initial part of your reading here, Virgo, is that if you are floating on your back in a pool of water with absolutely no resistance, no wind, no ripples, no waves, no nothing, it's hard to have that sense that you are actually still alive and moving and doing what you are meant to be doing. And the waves are your reminder of that. So as you're floating on your back, there is this gentle rolling motion reminding you that you are on the right path and the right journey. Have faith that you are walking the right path. I do want to say one more thing with this water and lifeblood card coming up, Virgo, is that at this time, please pay attention to your health. Make sure that you are consuming enough water, that you are staying hydrated, and that the water that you are drinking is good, high quality, purified water. Okay. I have to say the disclaimer, I am not a doctor or a healthcare practitioner, formally trained and allowed to give you formal health advice. But what I can say is these cards are indicating that perhaps for some of you, you're not as hydrated as you should be, and hydration is our lifeblood. So I'll just put that out there for you. That's more common sense than real health advice, really. What are you concentrating on right now? Yes, you are concentrating on the Two of Wands here. The Two of Wands is about choices and possibilities, and you also have the Ten of Swords here. The Ten of Swords is about rebirthing ourselves, recreating ourselves into something new at this time, and recognizing that the path or the journey we had been walking as a camel, because society told you were a camel, wasn't right. And what we really are is a lion that can be birthed into anything else. Okay. So Virgo, this confirms that you have a choice right now. There are possibilities. Pay attention to your visions right now as well. With this eagle up here, we know that the eagle has some of the best eyesight out of any creature on this entire planet. And so pay attention to what you are seeing at this time, both in reality, in 3D physical reality, but as well, pay attention to what you're seeing in your dreams and meditations and imaginary time. Okay. There are huge possibilities coming your way for you right now. And this is going to allow you the opportunity to really, what this card is saying is reinvent yourself. Let's have a look at what is challenging you at this time. Okay, this makes perfect sense for you, Virgo. Challenge. You have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is about having to walk away from something. It will feel emotional. It may feel like somebody is stabbing you in the heart as you leave behind and walk away from, as I mentioned, these cards are indicating, these cards, and then this one is confirmation that you have been in a career. For the vast majority of you, I want to say for at least 75% of you, you have been in a career that you were pushed and guided towards by society and institutions and family and so on, rather than you being your true heartfelt self. And when you decide to tap into your true intuition, Virgo, and become who you are truly meant to be, what your soul's journey was meant to be here on this planet, which means likely a career change. When you decide to do that, someone's going to get hurt. It's going to be emotional. And it's not just, I'm not just sensing that there's going to be emotional hurt on your part. I think that this card is actually coming up for you, Virgo, because you don't want to hurt other people. The vast majority of Virgos out there are all about being compassionate to others. They are truly empathetic beings, and you don't want to hurt someone else's feeling. But this is in your challenge. This is saying that in order for you to walk your true path, you're going to have to eventually, potentially, I mean, okay, let me back up. This card is not indicating that you're intentionally going to go out and stab somebody in the heart and emotionally hurt them. That's not what this card is saying. But what this card is saying is that for you to follow your own true heart's desire, someone else may feel hurt. So take for example, your family wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and you were pushed and guided into that tributary. Okay. And you went along with it because that's what was expected of you. But in reality, you wanted to be back out here in the major river and going with the flow. For you to step out of the expectations of your family or your friends or whoever that pushed you and guided you towards the tributary of being the doctor, the lawyer, whatever, their feelings may get hurt when you say, no, I'm putting on the brakes. This is not the path I want to walk. I want to do something different. It's their feelings that are going to get hurt. And you're in that position. You're caught in that in between right now, Virgo, of going, I really don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings, but I need to be true to myself. That's why this card is coming up in your difficult influences right now, Virgo. Also in your difficult influences, you have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands in your difficult influences is indicating that you may have fallen into complacency, may have fallen into this place of, okay, well, I'll just do what I'm told because this is what I'm meant to be doing. And I don't want to disappoint anyone. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Change into following our true heart and soul's desire can be a challenge. This card is indicating that, Virgo, you may have been deciding to stay in your comfort zone. And this card is saying you can't continue to stay in your comfort zone. It's time to let go of the past. This card is also a card of let go of the past. It's time to shift into what you were really meant to be doing. And for a lot of you who are watching this video, what you're meant to be doing is polar opposite to what you're actually doing. So it's a huge leap to go from being a certified condominium manager to being a full-time psychic. It's a huge leap to go from being a doctor or a lawyer into doing spiritual and energy healing work, for example. So, I mean, for example, some of you may be in that place where you went into traditional medicine of some kind, and now you're questioning, is this the right path or journey for me? You may take that leap into energy healing or psychic healing or something from being in the traditional medical field, right? That's still a leap, and that's still probably going to hurt some people's feelings. You don't want to do that. You're in your comfort zone while you're there, but you still feel this itching and this urge, knowing that you're not on the right path or the right journey right now. And the final card that you have in your difficult influences is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups in your difficult, so normally the Two of Cups anywhere else in your reading would indicate there's a coupling, a coming together of two people for the purposes of either romance or a mentor-mentee or a business partnership. This in your difficult influences indicates that there's actually an uncoupling that's likely to happen. And that's indicated by this Three of Swords as well. That is an uncoupling. In fact, the Three of Swords is a card of severance, signifying separation and the end of a relationship. And that's confirmed by having the Two of Cups in your difficult influences as well, Virgo. There is an uncoupling that's happening, and it needs to happen in order for you to be able to follow your true life's calling and for you to rebirth into what you are actually meant to be. Messages you need to hear at this time: follow the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done to you. Let's just leave that one there. And let's move into unexpected. Unexpected, you have the Queen of Wands and you have the Snake. The Queen of Wands is the queen who gets things done. She is the queen of fire. She is fiery in all that she does, and she is stepping into her own truth. I also want to point out that the Queen of Wands has a little black cat here next to her, indicating that some of the work that she does may be in the ethereal realm. Black cats are often associated with spiritual work, or for some people, they may be referred to as a familiar and an assistant. So this is also an indication that there is assistance for you, Virgo, as you are shifting away from what society expected you to be and do, and you're shifting into this rebirth energy, and there is help and assistance and support for you from the ethereal realm with this Queen of Wands coming in. The other card that you have is the Snake. And I've already mentioned this for this particular reading, Virgo. The Snake is about letting go of the past, shedding old skin. You've outgrown that. The way that a snake gets bigger is it lets go of its old skin, and then it grows bigger, and then it lets go of its skin and it grows bigger. So you are being asked to grow and expand your consciousness, grow and expand your awareness. You are being asked to rebirth yourself at this time. Look at the possibilities of what's out there. And in order to do that, you have to let go of the past. Let's have a look at your general overall outcome. General overall outcome, yay, you have the Dreamer. This is the card of new beginnings. This card is the 0 from the major arcana of the tarot. This is the card that corresponds to the Fool. Look at this. This is someone setting out on a journey, and there is nothing but openness and a beautiful path in front of them. New beginnings, Virgo. And I'm just going to read what it says on this card. Now, I don't normally do that. I do know what all of these cards mean. I read the cards psychically and intuitively as well, but I have to read what this says. Virgo, embrace your true purpose. I don't know if that's going to focus. Let's see. Anyway, down here, embrace your true purpose. That's what I've been saying since I turned over these first 3 cards. This is about you changing and shifting and stepping into your soul's calling. And you do have the 5 of Summer, also known as the 5 of Cups, as the final card in your reading. This is a card of remember that things happen for a reason. And also, you are always where you are meant to be. You needed to follow the path and the journey that others directed you towards in order for you to now rebirth yourself into this. And it is that other prior knowledge that is going to actually help you and assist you. When we make a change, here's something that I need to share. A lot of people believe that if they're going to shift from being this formal big doctor or lawyer into the role of being more of a spiritual mystic, that they need to discard all of that previous knowledge. And that's just not true. In fact, we are always where we are meant to be. And all of the previous knowledge and experiences that we have, we bring forward when we step out of the role of the traditional societal expectations and into something that is more esoteric, which I feel a lot of Virgos are doing right now. And that's what this reading has really been about for you guys. When we do that, we don't throw, yeah, there's a funny saying. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. We retain all of that prior knowledge and we bring that forward, but it's about our delivery and how we interact with others that changes. Okay. If you look at this, you have this fairy being reborn as a beautiful moth or butterfly. The reality is that a moth or a butterfly can't be reborn and can't become the dreamer and the fool and cannot embrace their true purpose unless they've had the experience of being the caterpillar first. And so Virgo, you following the direction and the intentions of traditional society to get to this point, you going up these tributaries rather than following the main river, was purely a case of those were your caterpillars times. You were the caterpillar, right? Here you were the camel. And it is now time for you to rebirth yourself the same way that the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and is then reborn as a moth or a butterfly. It is a transition. But in order for the moth or the butterfly to be reborn, they have to let go of the past. They have to let go of the caterpillar. All right, I'm going to leave that with you. Virgo, this was a pleasure to be able to do this reading for you and reaffirm to you, you are on the right path. And this is all part of your journey. If this resonated with you deeply, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving the video a like. It really does help me to grow the channel. And as always, my contact information is down below if you would like to book a private consultation. I hope that you will allow me the honor of doing your next reading for you at the beginning of October. Thank you so much, Virgo.